Hello. Listen, I wanted to spend a little time, share a little something with you on this great day. I pray that you are having a marvelous week and that you are experiencing God's best. So listen, I have a lesson for you. It's simply entitled committing to something that's bigger than you. My text comes out of the book of Ephesians chapter 6. In Ephesians chapter 6, verse 7 and 8, it says this very simply: not with eye service as men pleasers, doing the will of God, for from the heart with goodwill service as to the Lord and not to men. So what we're talking about, that whatever you do it from your heart, but do it for the Lord. Instead of trying to please men, make sure that you are pleasing God. And here are some points that I'm able to bring out of that particular passage of scripture. Wanted to share it with you. I pray that it bless you, because you know what? You need to commit to something bigger than what you've been doing for yourself. And so number one, we always seem to have an issue with, or if you will, is personal gain. There's always people who are trying to gain more. So personal gain is number one. So personal gain in this sense is in the me mentality. In other words, what's in it for me? What am I getting out of doing this? What am I getting out of helping others? What am I getting out of attending service? What am I getting out of living right? What am I getting out of forgiving others? And so the me mentality. See, but you need to commit to something bigger than yourself. Peter had a discussion with Jesus. I believe it's in the book of Luke chapter 18. And Peter said to Jesus, he said, Lord, we have given up everything. We have given up all that we have to follow after you. Jesus responds and says to him, watch this now, this was really good. He says, look, no man, no woman, no child, no girl, no boy ever gives up everything and God does not replace it. Now I'm paraphrasing that for you to understand that, listen, that whatever you give up for God and whenever you make a commitment, come on now, when you make a commitment to God and make the sacrifice of things that you now must set to the side and change your lifestyle, Jesus says, look, God promises you, here is another promise, that he will make sure that you will be blessed with more than what you gave up. And so what's in it mentality, what's in it for me mentality? Many people only come to church. What's in it for me? Many only help others. What's in it for me? Many only forgive folks. What's in it for me? And so we have to be careful not to fall into that type of mentality. It's early, folks, but I'm working it out. Come on, get with me here. Number two, B, if you're that type of person, personal gratitude. First was personal gain, but then there is public gratitude. I'm correcting myself. It's the praise, it's who that praises me mentality. I want to make sure that people are praising me. That's what many think. I want to make sure that someone is always patting me on my back, that someone is always encouraging me, that someone is always telling other good things about me to other people here and there, far and near. And so you must be careful not to get caught up in the hoopla of people praising you, because just like they talk about you good today, they'll talk about you bad today as well. And so be careful that you do not fall into public gratification, because many are seeking public gratification for everything that they do, everything that they say. And I praise those, and I give those, yes I do, I praise those who work behind the scene to make things happen, to encourage others, just like our mothers as we're getting ready to enter into that great special holiday weekend, for how they have raised and how they have nurtured and how they have sought after and how they have corrected us down through the years, and how they have worked behind the scenes to help us to develop into the great people that God has wanted us to be. So public gratification, make sure that you're committed to something greater than yourself, other than public gratification. Number 3, here it comes, possible giving, or C, if you will. Possible giving is how can this help others mentality. By me giving, how is this going to help others? By me giving of myself, how is this going to help others? By me giving of my finances, how is this going to help others? By me being able to give them wisdom and knowledge of the things that I have learned in life, how will this help others? But you have to remember now, you're doing this unto the Lord, because the Bible teaches us, once again, go back to Ephesians chapter 6, and we will find it there in verse 7 and 8, because we are not trying to be men pleasers, and we are definitely not doing eye service, but we're doing it for the kingdom of God, and so that God would get the glory, and so that God would get the praise. So you make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you understand this, because public giving, so check this out. This is one of the things that I have learned from my wife. She don't even know, but I'm going to go and drop it on you. Can I drop it on you? Check this out. Let me drop it on you. Watch this. My wife has always been a very precise, a very kind, very loving person, but she's a very organized person. And I have watched when she's organizing, even after someone has organized it, because it's not God's best. Woo, here it comes. Because excellence, ladies and gentlemen, excellence is the difference in saving someone's life that comes to Christ because of the level of excellence. If your level of excellence is on a scale from 1 to 5, and 1 being the lowest of excellence, many of y'all said just as long as it's in the box, it's good. But my wife, Lady Cokes, she would come along, and not only would she recheck the box, but she would put everything in the box, and she would fold it neat, and everything would be so precise until now you can add more to it. So there is a level of excellence. Everyone needs to say excellence, because excellence is what separates you from many others. Excellence what separates you from those who say they're doing good. Excellence what gets you to the next level. Excellence in your thought pattern, excellence in your lifestyle, excellence in your belief in what you have in God. So whatever you do, ladies and gentlemen, give God excellence. Excellence in your praise, excellence in your worship. So children that's going today, be celebrating Mother's Day this weekend, make sure that whatever you decide to do for them, that is at a level of excellence, because it is the difference that separates us. Come on, somebody. You got to get this. So possibly giving is what helps others. When they see a person such as my wife, yes, I'm throwing out there going into Mother's Day weekend, you will see a level of excellence. Whether she is on vacation, whether she is at work, whether she is working in ministry, there will always be a level of excellence. Have you ever wondered why is it some that are so nonchalant about life, and then there are others who take life to a certain degree to a level of excellence, that I'm just not going to live any kind of way. I'm not going to look any kind of way. I'm not just going to do any kind of thing. It must be excellent. Woo, that was good. That was good. Can I tell you something? That was good. That was good. Woo, woo, to Lady Cokes. Next one here. 4D, if you will. Pleasing God. Committing to something that's bigger than you. Pleasing God. It is to live out a purpose life that you desire. Giving God your best. When you give God your best, ladies and gentlemen, you never have to worry about God giving you less. When you give God your best, you never have to worry about second-class citizenship status. When you give God your best, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand, then you are pleasing God, because you cannot please God, here it comes, without faith. That's what the Bible says. So in order to please God, I have to be willing to give to God. And so since I'm going to be pleasing God, now with my faith, I'm able to live now a life that is full of desire, that comes from the ability to want to live a purpose-filled life. I want to live a purpose-filled life in everything that I do. I'm back at it again, because I want to live an excellent life. Because I'm pleasing God, I experience the best that God has to offer. So therefore, my commitment now is to something bigger now. It's not about me. It's not about you. I know how you feel about yourself. But just remember, it's not about you. It's all about him. And so we want to be able to say that I'm committed to something bigger than myself. And so in this case, in this particular situation here, your commitment to God. How committed are you to God? Are you only committed to God when someone else brings up his name? Are you only willing to sing and praise God, to God, should I say, when others are singing, or will you do it yourself? So as I run through it again, number one, make sure that it's a personal gain. It's what's in it mentality. Number two, a public gratification. It's who's praising me mentality. Number three, a possible giving. It's how can this help others mentality. And then number four, pleasing God. It is to live out a purpose-filled life that fills all of the desires that we have in life, giving God our best. And so, ladies and gentlemen, on this particular day that you're watching this, whatever time it might be, whatever day you might see this, I want you to understand and realize that you got to commit to something bigger than yourself. When you commit to something bigger than yourself, watch this, God will always be proud of you. And so as my pastor has told me down through the years, that whatever you do, Cokes, he said, make God proud. And so I stand before you today, or in this case, I'm sitting here. I just want to say, I just want to make God proud. And you should have that mentality that in whatever you do, are you making God proud? Are he pleased with the things that you say? Is he pleased with the things that you do? Is he pleased with how you're living your life? And how committed are you to things that are bigger than you? And so, yes, we love our family. Yes, we love our wives. Yes, we love our husband. Yes, we love our children. Well, what about your commitment to God? And when your commitment to God begins to change, ladies and gentlemen, you'll come out of the comfort zone of your living room or your dining room, or even in your car as you're riding, and you will come to a worshiping experience because of your commitment to God. And so that is my challenge to you on this midweek service here, to challenge you to do something different. How about committing to something bigger than yourself? And so I pray that this is pleasing. I pray that this would bless you, and that it would go far into your spirit, and that it would saturate within you, and that you would get the blessing, and that God would get the glory. And so I look forward to seeing you again real soon. So let me say this to some now. Happy Mother's Day to all of the great mothers out there. You are worthy to be praised because of your efforts and your love and your endurance. May God bless you. I am the Faith Coach. I will see you real soon. Welcome to the City of Faith. My name is Dr. Michael Cokes. Listen, it's a wonderful place, and I want to invite you to be a part. Listen, this place here is known for where generations meet.
My name is Emma Roundtree Newton, and I am so glad to be here to talk to you guys about City of Faith, because this is a beautiful place to be at, and I just love it.
Look, we've been in this city, we've been in this community, helping, blessing people, changing lives, changing directions, helping families, helping the single. So I want you to be a part of what we do here. So you need a place to come, this is the place to come.
If you never had a nice church and want to be in a good church, come to the City of Faith, and we will make you welcome and you will enjoy it.
It's a place for all of us.
Hello, friends. Welcome to City of Faith. My name is Prophet Kevin Gates. I love the music at this church because you can get a little bit of traditional and a little bit of contemporary at the same time. And so we want to see you worship, not just you worship, but come and worship with the other generations. All the generations come here to meet. So this is a place where generations meet.
Your life is changing because this church is a place of purpose. It's a place of praise. And God has sent you to us at this time. So I want to invite you and your family to come to the City of Faith.